Hey, welcome back to the Infamous Podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl.
And Darryl, this is episode 481. 28 years later, a story of a boy and his mom hiking through the apocalypse. I don't think I could have made this title any longer if I tried.
He probably could have.
It's like a Leslie Knope style headline.
Yes.
Because she was always like, newsflash, word vomit, word salad, word vomit, ha ha ha, word vomit.
Leslie Knope.
Leslie Knope.
I love that show.
Yeah, Parks and Rec is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so if it's not obvious, this week we're going to talk about 28 Weeks Later. We talked about this last week. We are going to talk about episode 7 of Murderbot, Complementary Species. And we are also going to talk about some much anticipated news about the Blade movie.
Marvel gone Marvel.
Marvel gone Marvel.
Speaking of Marvel gone Marvel, have you seen, I know the answer to this, I'm going to ask you anyway. Have you seen the most recent trailer of the Fan 4 stick that just came out today?
I have not.
Yes.
Because
I
don't care.
I find it hilarious that you know who is more front and center than any other trailer or anything they've shown.
Who?
Reed Richards.
Why?
Because people that again, they're not. I was about to say they're not dumb. They are actually dumb, but they're stupid too. But they know what's people are talking about, and then they just happen. This trailer just happens to have him as the one that's most front and center.
But we already know that Sue.
But it
is
doesn't
the
matter.
Leader of the Fan 4 stick.
Well, they're what they're hoping is, oh, maybe people will see this trailer and not the other one. Like, dude, come on. It
They're
doesn't. There are a couple funny parts to the trailer where they're trying to get Thing to say the line, like say the line, come on, and he's like, dude, that's on the cartoon. I don't say that in real life or so. That was actually kind of funny. But
it's kind of funny.
That movie.
Is it like, hey, Spider-Man, do a flip?
Yeah, pretty much like that.
I really didn't care for that during Homecoming.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary. But
Hey, Spider-Man, is that you? Yeah, it's me. Prove it. Do a flip. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, that movie comes out, what, in like 2 months?
No, next month. 25th.
Jesus.
A month from today, actually.
Christ. You're going to make me watch this, aren't you?
Dude, I really don't want to watch it.
Let's not. Let's buck the trend and join the rest of everybody else who's not going to watch this movie.
Like, I'll watch it when it's streaming. Like, I mean, I actually don't even know how long it is, because that's the other thing.
Oh, it's probably going to be like 2 hours, 43 minutes. And old Puffy Face is going to be like, oh, I'm Reed Richards, but I'm a dumbass.
Again.
All right.
Yeah. I have my issues with Pedro. I like him as an actor.
Sometimes.
This is a terrible, terrible role for him. And this trailer only solidified that.
I mean,
for me.
Casting Pedro as Reed Richards is legitimately a crime against nature.
The only thing worse than that is having him as Joel in The Last of Us go to therapy.
This is why we can't have nice things, Darryl. This is why we can't have nice things. Speaking of nice things, Ironheart came out this week, allegedly.
That was really good. You said that with a straight face without laughing. You said nice things.
Yeah, well, you know, the nice thing is not Ironheart. The nice thing is the lovely hostage video Chris Goyer gave us.
Oh my goodness, that was.
So real quick, shout out to Chris Goyer and Film Threat and Alan Ning. They're amazing. We love them. Chris actually, has been a huge influence on me with movies and things like that pretty much my entire life. So that being said, you sent me this video and I wasn't going to watch it because I was like, oh God, I don't want to listen to him talk about Ironheart. And it's him just looking completely disheveled. It's like a 5-minute video. I think it's less. He's looking completely disheveled. And he's like, I'm watching for the first episode. There's nothing good about this. All right. I'm going to watch the second episode. There's nothing good about this. And then all the way to the 6th episode. You know what I realized? None of these people are heroes. Nobody sacrifices anything. I hate my life. And then the fact that Han Solo plays Obadiah Stane's son.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, I don't care.
Nobody's gonna watch this. Nobody's
watching that. Nobody's listening to this either. So,
I almost thought about watching one episode, and then he said, they said on I actually listened to their 20-minute review of it. Every episode is like 45 to 57 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like the shortest one is 45 minutes, he said.
That's the shortest one?
Yes.
Oh my God, kill me now.
There is no, when he said that, I was like,
Isn't that a Creed song? Kill me now.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive. Hey, buddy.
Anyway.
Coop heard me. Coop's like, what are you talking about this garbage TV show for? You know what? I think I'm going to go in my litter box.
Cooper.
Show you what I think about it.
Cooper heard Creed, and he was like, yeah, let's go.
Fuck yeah.
Let's fucking go. Anyway, yeah, not interested at all. But I will say this. I will watch the pitch meeting about it.
I can't wait for that.
You know, I kind of wish like someone would do like a Charlie style deep fake of these Marvel ones. That would be something that would be making like them like, you know, a deep fake Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Chris Hemsworth like sitting around an apartment watching all the Marvel stuff. Like, what have they done to
America throws his mighty shield.
Exactly. What have they done to our fabulous universe? Stark, why can't you fix this?
'Cause I'm dead.
You really are the worst, brother. Anyway, like Loki can pop in and like annoy them and things like that. So, but yeah, it was like you sent it, and I was like, I've sent it to like 15 people. I sent it to Matt, and Matt was like, we both like gushed over how awesome Chris Gore is. So, you know, there's that.
I love watching them.
So, I mean, Phil, like, okay, like we've talked about this before because we reviewed Attack of the Dock, but like Film Threat is the shit. Like, honestly, it's so good. Anyway, it's the whole reason I watched and bought Snack Shack last year. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So let's hop right in to our first story here. Blade. Mahershala Ali was out. Did I say that right? Mahershala, thank you. Mahershala Ali was out doing some press for Jurassic World Rebirth? Reunion?
I actually don't know what the name of that movie is.
Ribbon cutting? I don't know. Anyway, and people were asking him about Blade, and it says I just have some quotes here. There's a bunch of articles. Please go watch the video. Like track down the video of it. It says here Ali bluntly told Marvel or about Marvel, told them, call them, I'm ready. And he expressed eagerness in the film despite the fact that it's been in what's it called? Limbo for 5 years. But here's the thing. He said he was interested, but like there's no way he's gonna be Blade. That guy's too freaking busy. Like they missed the boat. Honestly, they missed the boat on even just doing the movie in general.
Yeah. So before we continue and with some of the David Goyer stuff, I have a question. What do you think will happen first? George R.R. Martin finishes Winds of Winter, or we get a Blade movie with Mahershala Ali?
I think before either of those things happen, America will be under Sharia law for a century, and then there will be freedom fighters that save America from Sharia law, and then aliens will invade. Then there will be a
Well,
massive earthquake. Hold on, I'm getting there. I'm coming, I'm bringing it around. There will be a massive earthquake, and someone will uncover the script from season 7 of Game of Thrones and be like, "Oh, look, Winds of Winter."
I was just gonna say, well, what happens when Galactus comes and eats the planet?
Oh no, he's gonna bypass Earth. Did you watch that Aliens? Oh yeah, you did. The alien thing I sent you, the alien AI talking about.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they have humans down there.
Dude, unzip his pants. That was awesome.
I've never ran
was
so
playing
fast
dead.
in my whole life. They sent a goose after me. Just one goose. Anyway, all right. But all right. So David Goyer, who wrote the original, he wrote all 3 of them, I believe. He directed Blade Trinity. He also wrote Batman Begins, but then he also wrote some really bad stuff too. I am a huge David Goyer fan, though. I like
I'm a
David
fan.
Goyer a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
He said some stupid things just about pop culture, but like I forgive him because he has given us some pretty great stuff. But he reached out to Marvel when he heard about the whole like, hey, let's make this an MCU movie with Blade's daughter, and they can teach Blade life lessons. And he's like, I can help you guys. Like, I wrote some pretty cool Blade movies, and Blade Trinity.
And Dark City.
Dude, Dark City is low key one of the top 5 science fiction movies of all time.
Yeah, I just got in the 4K director's cut of it.
Oh, nice. Have you ever watched the director's cut before?
I have not.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I have the digital version of it, but yeah. So I feel like the first Blade movie is a nearly perfect comic book movie.
Yes.
It's got Wesley Snipes at the height of his power. It's got a young Steven Dorff. It's got vampires. I mean, what else? Yeah. It's got
Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson. Donald Loge is in it and gets his hands and his face like mangled, and then we get to watch all the stuff grow back.
And go play piano again.
Yeah. Lem from The Shield is in it. It's great. Tracy Lords. So, yeah, I mean, it's such a good movie. Blade 2 is super inventive. Was that Guillermo who directed that one?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was crazy inventive. The whole like vampires within vampires thing, and then Blade Trinity was actually fun. It was just bad.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, part of the reason it was so bad is because they let Parker go full Posey, and Triple H cannot act.
Yes, he was pretty bad.
So, and Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool.
Yeah, right. No, Ryan Reynolds was Ryan Reynolds.
Well, yeah, which is Deadpool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think this movie's ever going to happen. I don't think it should at this point. My thoughts on this. Marvel needs to just go away for like a decade.
Yeah, I mean, you keep saying that. I don't even think a decade you need, but at least some like years, 5 years plus.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. Because for the simple fact that they're still gaining money, even though they're actually losing money as well. But these companies, like I compare it to like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You know, as shitty as that game is, why I haven't bought the last 3. Is because they use the same old assets. They don't, and then they try to bend you over a barrel trying to do the loot boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
But these companies don't they don't know how to step back, and it's a lot of companies don't know how to say, you know what, we need to step back and reevaluate this from a different lens,
Right.
because what they're doing now in the MCU is clearly not
Hmm.
working.
Right. Right. And
Not since Endgame.
yeah. Remember when I did that episode about like how to fix the DCU? Like the
Right.
comics and the movies and everything. I think I'm gonna have to walk around with my notebook and start fixing the Marvel universe. Because I'll tell you what they need to do is stop doing movies and TV shows, and like rededicate themselves to the comic books, and
Hmm.
revitalize the comic books, and then build from there. And I'm not saying have crossovers or anything like that, but like make Marvel great again. You know, MAGA, if you will, or yeah,
No.
no, yeah, MUGA,
Mga.
MGA,
Mga.
MGA, like that, like make Marvel great again, so we can walk around and go MGA, but you know, and focus on that, and like build these characters back up to what they should be, super, you know,
Right.
and go from there, and don't let people do self inserts anymore. Don't let people like destroy a character because of their own personal politics. And if they don't love the character, they can't write for the character.
Right.
I mean, look what happened
Yes.
with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Like, just quick aside, right? Ta-Nehisi Coates got handed the keys to the kingdom with Black Panther, shortly after the Land Aquaman movie came out, actually, and it was trash. And he failed upwards so bad that they decided to let him ruin Captain America.
Whoever thought that, yeah, like they need to clean house. That's what they need to do. Like,
Maybe Marvel just needs to go away, just in general, for 10 years.
yeah.
All of it. It all just needs to go away. Like, shutter it. Like, you know, kind of hang on to the brand. Do what you need to do so you don't lose your copyrights and things like that.
Mhm.
Don't let Sony make any Spider-Man movies. Don't let Universal make any Hulk movies. You know, and just kind of be like, yeah, guys, we're shutting it down for a minute. We're gonna
Yeah.
reevaluate. Um,
A man can dream.
I know. So I mean, I wish DC would do that too, to be 100% honest. But yeah, let's move on from this very sad topic, um, and let's talk about Murderbot episode 7, complementary species. This was a crazy episode. Like, for how short these episodes are, the effects that went into this episode were crazy.
Oh, yeah. Like the complementary species mating.
Yeah, the kaijus, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the other murder bot, or the other sec unit thing showing up.
Yeah.
So uh, when it punched up through the eggs, and Murderbot was like, "I'm so glad I didn't punch the, I didn't destroy the eggs." I thought that was great, but yeah, this was just a fun episode. But man, these humans are dumb.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because they're just all so nice.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the funny thing about it is like these people are just you can tell they're not used to violence of any kind, really.
Oh, none
And
whatsoever. I mean,
like,
even Mensa, when she was like, "Oh, I don't kill," and he goes, "Well, not unless we give you a driller's bit," and like she just looked at him in horror. She was like, "Huh? What? No, that was a one-time thing." Anyway, so I'm about 45 minutes into All Systems Red,
mhm.
because it goes away on the first, so I gotta power through it here in the next couple of days. But yeah, it is interesting, the kind of the subtle differences between the book and the show.
Yeah.
And, excuse me. I told you this when I called you earlier. I kind of want them to, and I understand why they don't, because Kevin R. Free does a good job. But it would be kind of cool if they redid it with Alexander reading doing the audiobook.
Yeah. I mean, I said, like I said, I like how the guy does it, but I it was funny when you said that. I didn't say this earlier, but I was thinking this when I started first listening to the book. I thought the same thing. I was like, that'd have been kind of cool,
Yeah.
especially because I saw the dramatized version out there.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that would have been kind of funny.
They're doing that with a lot of books now. It's a good way
Yeah,
for them to split the books into two parts and sell you the same book twice.
bastards.
I mean, that's what they did with Red Rising. All of the dramatizations are two parts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, but no, this I gotta say, I really love the look and feel of this world. It's kind of like Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, it does. It has that feel to
It
it. Yeah.
has that vibe, and we really haven't talked a lot about like the aesthetic of the show. I do find like I find the world that they're in is kind of its own character because we get glimpses of the fauna and like some of the stuff in the world, and it's always never what you think. Like
Hmm.
when the one lady got like run over by the slug creature, and it didn't kill her; it just rolled over her. You know, and this time they're like, "Oh my god, it's going to attack, and it's going to attack," and it's like, "Oh, they're fighting." No, they're fucking. So, that was interesting. The costuming is really interesting. It's very it's just this like very like comfortable, like yet uncomfortable world that they've created. Like they have their creature comforts as far as some things, but they're also awkward that it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And in their various, what's the word I'm looking for?
Stop yawning.
Sorry, there there are various areas of like the ship or the hopper or whatever are are unique to each character.
Yeah. And again, I one of the things when we first started talking about this, so I have to give credit to the author, is that Martha Wells, I believe,
Yep, Martha Wells.
is that one of the first things I saw and when we first started reviewing it was I thought, and again, this is my fault for being trained by Hollywood. Well, it's actually Hollywood's fault of, being, the DEI Olympics. Well, to be fair, most of the characters that we see have those same, ethnicities in the books,
Right.
they and again, they're not just check boxes. They're not check boxes in the books. They're not check boxes on
The show.
the show.
Yeah.
And this is what you know what, if you're going to do diversity, this is what you do.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really interesting the way you're on the like hitting the nail on the head here. Um, I'm sad there's only 3 episodes left,
Yeah, I know, right? And
but
especially because I'm on book 5 and I'm like, I really want to see book 2. I really want to see the whole thing with him and Art. And so
yeah,
I won't tell you who Art is.
I don't want to know. It's gonna be a while before I get back to it. So,
Well, I was going to
um,
say, if you have Hoopla, do that. Like, or even if you don't, it's a library app. I don't even know if you have a library card, but I downloaded it for
I
one during COVID, and
do
I've been using it here and there.
not currently have a library card.
Yeah.
I haven't had a reason to go to the library in forever.
Well, the only reason I got it was because of that and COVID. So,
Mm,
and I still have it. So, and
uh,
I've used it a few or more. I've used it on several occasions. Mostly books that I'm rereading and listening to the audiobook at the same time.
nice, nice. But yeah, all right. So, should we score this?
Yeah.
All right. So out of
I
5, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. No, you go.
Oh, okay. So out of 5, there will be hop-ons.
3.3.5 out of 5. Yeah, I wasn't as enamored at first with this show. I thought it was solid, but the last 3 weeks I've really liked, what we've gotten, and
Mhm.
I've gotten the on that same rhythm as the characters and their quirkiness. I really like this show. It's one of those that is you don't expect. And quick aside, I saw like I was after 28 years later, I went to Barnes and Noble to get Children of Dune, and this girl and her boyfriend were there, and they were in the sci-fi section, and they mentioned Murderbot, and then I actually start talking to them about it and all the other books that
Yeah.
were in there. But like they just said, I heard them say, I heard this was okay or this was pretty good or something like that, and different than the books. And so Murderbot, helped me point to in point 4 or 5 series
Yeah.
for these people. So
Yeah. It helped
thanks,
you make
Murderbot,
it helped you make some friends.
that I'll never see again.
Exactly. So yeah. So what'd you give it?
3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5. Awesome. I did 3.75 just because I really like the way they've been building. I feel like we're gonna be like in for kind of like because some of this was like filler, or not filler, flashback,
Right.
backy, which I liked. But I don't know. I just really like the way they've been building the last, like you said, the last few weeks, with this story. I thought I was gonna miss Lee BB, but I didn't, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that I didn't miss her because there was so much more story for her to give us. But
You kind of need a head to have a story. So.
truth. But yeah, so I went with a 3.75. Like, in part of this is like a culmination of some things for the story, and I'm kind of excited. I almost wish this was a movie, right? Like, because the book is so short. But like, I'm glad it's not because they would have cut out some of the fun little nuancy things.
Mhm.
But I'm excited to go and watch this and like, because I mean, they're only like 20, 25 minutes long.
Right.
To watch this over the span of like a day, maybe two,
Yeah.
and just kind of watch it all in context together, no breaks, no week off, no time in between.
Yeah, I think
Um,
this is one of those because of how is it's crafted
mhm.
and the length of the episodes. This is one that's definitely ripe for binging,
Yeah, this is a
just watching all the way
binge.
through.
Not only is it binge worthy, but I think it's built to be binged.
Yes.
Like we're watching. The reason I was late, coming up here to record, we're watching The Waterfront on Netflix.
Is that any good?
It's really good. I really like it. It's got Melissa Benoist in it. It's got Holt McAnellian. I forget it. I don't know how you say
Yeah,
his
I know
last
who you're
name.
talking about.
Um,
Yeah.
it's got oh shit, what was the guy? It's got Maria Bello. It's got Topher Grace. It's really good. Like, it's really well acted. It's really well written. It looks cool. I was reading like somebody was trying to compare it to Ozark, but I tapped out of Ozark after episode 5. But it reminded me a little bit of the show Bloodline with Coach Taylor.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and director Krennic.
Director credit.
But yeah. So yeah, but like this is definitely a super binge worthy show, and um it's almost like, damn, we should have just waited until it was over. But then I don't think we would have ever watched it because we'd been like, oh God, we've this and that and whatever misconception. What?
No, it's
It's
just like
you're laughing because it's true. Anyway, all right, let's go on. This is going to be a short episode. Let's go on to the last topic here. 28 years later. It came out just last week, June 20th. But I will say this. There is a sequel already done coming out in January called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. And yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
All
So do
right.
you want to?
Yeah. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, you want to get the rating out of the way and then we can kind of explain because it's probably better that way with this one, just because, like,
Yeah, we can do that. Let's get down here to the rating. All right. So out of 10, why didn't we get church ninjas the whole time?
that is facts right there.
What like super facts? What do you give this
Or
one?
as they say, no cat, man, no cat.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I'm using that right. I don't care.
I don't know.
But out of the church ninjas thing, I give it a 5.6 out of 10.
Yeah, I just adjusted my score down because you made me think about it.
And what do you have for this?
I give it a 5.51. The more I think about this movie, the more the middle of this movie drives me insane.
Yeah.
Because it's bookended by cool shit. And by cool shit, I mean Jimmy. And we didn't get any Jimmy in this movie except for the beginning and then 28 years later. And like we followed, we'll just get into this, right? So
Right.
it opens on day 1, day 0, right? Of the rage virus. And or is it, man, it's right around day 0. Anyway, like these rage monsters break into this home, they kill all the women and children except for Jimmy, who gets to escape somehow. He runs to his dad's church, and his dad is a crackpot, and he's like, this is the rapture, they're coming to take me. And I think his dad was one of the alphas.
I don't know.
Well, because
Like,
he guided them away from the church when they were in the church. By the way, spoilers. So when he gets like converted and he's like rah, and like does
I
the
see
little
what you mean.
arm
Yeah,
movement.
that was true.
So
Yeah, that was
I
true. Yeah.
think I think that was a nice little like, hey, there are different levels to the rage monsters. Not to be confused with the Incredible Hulk. But I've just always called them rage monsters.
I mean, it's kind of what they are. So,
Right, right.
I mean, so
Right. But then Jimmy like is asking why he's been forsaken, and then he just kind of is like, screw this, I'm out. And we see Jimmy walking away, and this is the last we see of Jimmy until about 6 minutes left in the movie. Again, spoilers. And then we get to the whole like 28 years later, and we're on the island that we've seen all the previews from. And we're following a character named Jamie, not to be confused with Jimmy, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, his son Spike, and his wife Isla are kind of the main characters from this point on.
yeah. And the thing is, I thought I don't know if it was 25, 30 minutes, whatever it was, with the father and son, them going out for his first time. He has to
Yeah.
make a kill to become a man, even though everybody's telling him, dude, he's only 12. Like, are you sure about this? And he's like, yeah, it's about time for him to become a man and all that. And all of that, them, us finding out that, and I did like how they start. Okay, you got the bloaters that are crawling on the ground.
Right.
These fat ass rage virus whatever that likes to eat things, and then we find out about the alphas and how they have to hole up because the alphas, and then these other
Right.
this pack goes after them. That was interesting. That was cool.
Yeah.
Watching them almost get caught, when they're going back home, and that whole scene, all the tension in that was,
Dude,
I thought that's what this movie was going to be.
when they're running across the land bridge as high tide is coming in, and they explain very clearly what the bridge was and like why, like during high tide you couldn't just walk across it or swim across it. Like,
Right.
it was really well done. It was really, really, like, Alex Garland with the script did a great job world building in dialogue showing us what was happening, not just telling us what was happening.
Yes.
And, so you're right. So we meet these alphas, and this alpha is chasing them back, and they're running. Of course, Spike trips because, damsel in a dress. And Jamie's picking him up. I think honestly, after everything that happened, Jamie is like looking at that and he goes, "You know what? I probably should let this fucking kid on the land bridge." But anyway, they get there and like they're trying to get in. They're like, we're clean. Look at our eyes. We're clean. And they're like trying to take down this alpha, and they yeet him with like a flaming spear.
That was straight out from Gladiator.
And he just looks at it and he's like, "Is that all you have? Are you not entertained? Let me like now, crazy little island. Shall I begin?" But it was like really, really interesting with the alpha, and then we get this fever dream of a celebration.
Yeah.
For Spike, who's now the Giant Slayer.
Yeah.
Because
I was waiting. I was waiting for Ragnar Lothbrok to show up over here.
Like, Jamie is like as boisterous as that. So Jamie and Spike are being celebrated for Spike's first kill and like killing an alpha and surviving.
Yeah, I was about to say it's more surviving.
Yeah. And Jimmy heads off with another woman. Rose, was that her name? I forget.
Yeah.
It's really inconsequential because, it just doesn't matter. But Spike sees them making out, and everything. And he gets mad, and so he leaves the party. And it was Rosie. Her name was Rosie, by the way. So he leaves the party and goes back to his mom, where he learns about Dr. Kelson from the guy that was looking after his mom while everybody was out partying. And he learns that this doctor who lights the fire that he saw the bonfire while they were on the mainland is a doctor, and they haven't had a doctor in years. So he knows something's wrong with his mom. He thinks his dad is, letting it happen. So basically he kidnaps his mom.
Yeah.
And takes someone who's in the throes of, spoilers, cancer, to the island. I will say this. Jodie Comer did a great job with this role.
Yeah.
You might remember her from The Bike Riders, where she amazingly carried that movie on her back. I wish they would have given her the respect in script to do more of that with this character. I also think cancer was a huge cop-out, and she should have had some sort of like multiple personality disorder, because as her and Spike hike through Mordor to get to Mount Doom, like we only see like 2 or 3 rage monsters until we get to the train thing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
again, it's kind of convenient that way in movies like this or in The Walking Dead, which Walking Dead is the biggest offender, where these things make all this noise until they want to actually sneak up on people. But anyway, so watching him, do this extravagant plan to get his mom out, I'm thinking, watching this movie, how dumb do you have to be to think you're going to be able to do this? Like, that's the thing. Yes, Jodie Comer, you can say, okay, he wanted to help his mom and all this stuff. He knows what's out there. Like, there was a much better story for me personally if he would have been able to, like, if it was more of a family adventure, I say in air quotes, because having Aaron Taylor Johnson in that movie and then not having him in the movie the rest of the time
Right.
really turned me off. And it didn't help if that middle section was good and interesting and everything that happened was like, okay, I'm with this. I I would have been forgiving of it, but there's too
It
much
would have
stuff that
made more
drags.
sense if it was
Yeah.
the three
Yes.
of them, and then you could have added more action to it. Because
Yeah.
really, the only time we get action is when we come across Eric and the Swedish soldiers who were like trying to. They got pushed ashore, and now they're just trapped on the island, and the Alpha is just systematically taking these Swedish soldiers down. Like, honestly, we should get out of NATO right now if this is how they're going to be. Um, just utterly feckless and useless. Like the Alpha. What did Dr. Kelson call that Alpha? Samson.
Samson.
Yeah, Samson has a proclivity of all the alphas, the two that we see. He likes to rip people's heads out with their spines, straight up Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah.
And then just carry it around. Like,
Yeah.
look at my new toy. So he does this to Eric, and yet Spike and Isla end up with his head to bring to Dr. Kelson, or Dr. Kelson finds them and takes the head. But not before. I'm going to throw this back to Blade. We get a rage monster female who's pregnant and has a baby, which I'm sure we're going to find out is like the Daywalker version of,
Yeah.
the
Rage
the rage monsters. Like, the baby's got the cure now. Like,
Oh yeah,
plain
it's
and
gonna.
simple.
Yeah.
I mean, although Dr. Kelson found out the cure, it's just drown yourself in iodine.
Iodine. as he
Iodine,
said.
sorry. Iodine. By the way, Dr. Kelson is played by Voldemort.
He has a nose in this one though.
Kinda. It's going away. Anyway, actually, Ray Fiennes' nose is getting bigger. But that being said, so they meet up with Dr. Kelson. He does his thing. He's been burning these bodies, and he's got the memento mori, which is like alternating parts really fucking cool and terrifying.
Yes, and you understand why Jamie and them, who saw this guy with all these bodies, never went back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what type of a sicko is this?
I mean, he invented a machine to like more easily get the skin and cure the bones.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't eating them though. That's that's good. But
And
sorry,
again, while I understand that he's a doctor,
mm-hmm.
the fact that you let a rage monster that it has a proclivity, as you say, of ripping people's heads off, just to frolic around and almost pay you almost get your own head ripped off.
Yeah.
Because you want it to, live and let live.
Right.
Okay, this is not real life. This is in the apocalypse, people.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yes.
So, but going back to that middle part, like you're talking about Eric, like what was the point of that? Like I will say there were a couple moments with him, but we all knew what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He really, he carried Isla a little ways.
Yeah.
But and I will say the one scene I did like with him and Spike was him talking about what happens, that the world has gone on without you.
Right.
I did like that because it reminded me, because at first I'm like, why does this guy have a phone? What does he talk? And I thought like, oh yeah, this did not go throughout the world. This was quarantine. Yeah. So
I mean, it was
getting that reminder.
The UK, like that was it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else had it.
So I did
Yeah.
like that scene because it gives you a reminder, like y'all are by yourselves. Y'all are alone. Nobody's coming to help you ever.
Hmm.
So, and also, what's wrong with her lips? What's wrong with her face? That was actually kind of funny.
She's gorgeous. No. Sorry,
Like,
Eric.
why her lips look like that?
Sorry, Eric. She is not gorgeous. I don't know who told
No.
you she was, but she is an overly done plastic that melted in the sun. So,
Yes.
um, yeah. So the other thing too is like he had these darts that could just kind of like put you to sleep, like kind of a standing paralysis thing, which was interesting. But at the same time, I feel like it should have been something a little more powerful. Like, not just, oh, it's going to wear off in a few minutes. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so anyway, so all this happens. There's the baby that we have to contend with here. And Spike makes his way back to the island
With the baby.
with the baby in a Target little basket, which was fine. I mean, I figured that those things are going to survive the apocalypse with no problem. Um, and, heaven forbid, because they're all cracked already. But leaves the baby just kind of hanging outside.
Like, maybe they'll hear his
Yeah.
baby crying.
Yeah, they might hear it. I don't know. I mean, she hasn't had any like milk or real food, just water. But anyway, and then he makes his way back to the mainland. Uh, and it looks like the movie's going to end with him just like living off the land. Spike, the last great king of the United Kingdom, he kills a couple rage monsters, and then kind of gets in over his head.
As would you expect of a 12-year-old
Right.
who's only his second outing on the
Right. Well,
mainland would
third,
get
third,
into?
third, technically.
Third, yeah,
Yeah. So,
technically, yeah.
and when this happens, we finally meet the Jimmies.
And talk about one of the more jarring tonal shifts in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know what to think about that at first. I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
This totally feels like a different movie.
Oh, like it went from like horror movie to Kill Bill.
Yes.
Like Kill Bill Volume 1 with the Crazy 88. So there's
I like
the
those, yeah.
Jimmies. So Sir Jimmy Crystal is a cult leader. And apparently the character was inspired by Jimmy Savali, who is an English like media personality and DJ known for his eccentric image, charitable works, and hosting Top of the Pops and Jim Will Fix It. After his death, there were allegations of abuse and whatnot, tarnishing his reputation. Anyway, so you had Jimmy Crystal, who was Jimmy from the beginning of the movie, just 28 years later. You had Jimmy Inc., Jimmy Emia, Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Fox, Jimmy Shite, Jimmy Shake, and then,
This is like George Foreman.
yeah, it was
All the Georges.
but those weren't his kids though.
I know. It's
So, but it was like, they were doing crazy ninja parkour off the rocks. They were like, it was
using hockey stick.
hockey sticks, golf clubs, a spear, the way Spartacus used it when he did like that whole spinning, like R-Truth, like spear to the face on that one guy in the first season in Blood and Sand. And like they're just flipping everywhere, and it's like this crazy like kung fu movie now. And then Jimmy comes out, and we know it's Jimmy because he's got the crucifix that his dad gave him at the beginning of the movie. Just he wears it upside down now because he's a crazy person.
Yeah. And
And
yeah,
all I want to know is, how did he become that crazy person? Like,
so I'm more, with all of that said, and again, I know we're gonna get a lot of Spike, and I'm assuming we're gonna get Jamie back and
yeah.
all this stuff.
So, well, I can tell
But
you right now. So, the next movie comes out in January, January 16th, to be exact, 2026. It's called The Bone Temple. And we have Alfie Williams, Spike, returning. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Jamie. Jack O'Connell as Sir Jimmy Crystal. And then Jimmy Amia, Jimmy Jones, Dr. Kelson is coming back. Samson is coming back. And Cillian Murphy is going to play Jim, a former bicycle courier and survivor of the original outbreak, which is who he played in 28 Days Later. Okay. So we get the answer of what happened to him after the car hit the gate.
Yeah, just
anyway.
To be honest, I have concerns.
Here's the
about the next one.
Though. I have concerns because it's Nia DaCosta.
Exactly. That's why.
If you're not familiar with Nia DaCosta, I don't blame you. She directed the Candyman reboot and The Marvels. Enough said.
Yes.
So, she directed some movie called Little Woods. I've never even heard of that one. It was her directorial debut.
And Hedda, which isn't she's directing that now, maybe?
Yeah, director, writer, producer. I don't know. So, anyway, but The Marvels was trash. So, but here's the thing: she's only directing this one, so this will be the first movie she's directed that she didn't write.
That might
help. That might bode well. She's also not a producer, so
right. Especially if this script doesn't give us that bait and switch in the sense of, oh yeah, I'm thinking Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to be the main character. Oh nope, fooled you.
No, it's a boy and his mom on their way to Mordor.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, it's just not like when you messaged me and said it was mid. I didn't realize you meant mid AF.
Yeah.
Like I saw that, I was like, God damn it, Darryl. But yeah, it's just disappointing, right?
It is, yeah.
So
that's more than anything, because I don't think it's bad. It's well acted. There's some nice cinematography.
Yeah.
There's great world building.
Mm-hmm.
The action, which is very sparse, but the tension that some of that action gives us is good. Mm-hmm. But there's just so many spots of it. It reminds me of when you would we'd be talking and then you would go through a certain like a dead zone and your phone would cut off.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dead zones in this movie. Where, like far too many. Where it's just like you just lose me.
Yeah, I mean, it did good enough to open at number 2. Made 30 million domestic. It's funny. It made 30 million domestic and 30 million worldwide international. And right now is sitting. They haven't updated the international numbers since Sunday, but or nobody's seen it internationally since Sunday. But it's sitting at 66 million right now. So it was, where's the budget? Where's my budget? The budget was only 60 million.
Oh, that's
yeah. I do like how like it's trying to say the total gross for this movie is approximately 62 million. But like, I mean, this movie's got to like double what it's at right now to make money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to break even.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it beat Elio by, 10 million. It was only 6 million behind How to Train Your Dragon.
Which is
in week 2.
Okay.
Was that week 2 or week 3?
How to Train Your
Week 2.
Dragon?
Yeah, it's week 2.
Yeah, week 2.
So, but yeah, I mean that's at 371 million. It opened to 84 globally. So, but yeah, I kind of want to see it. I mean, I know I've already seen it, but like I kind of want to see it.
Well, yeah, like after hearing about what, like I said, what Alan said, and it's, they don't try to change too much. And even the stuff they change, like I might not like it in the sense of changing it, but I think it from a story standpoint, it still makes sense. So nothing I've heard makes me want to just like burn it and throw it by the wayside.
Yeah.
Like I initially thought when I first heard it, they were making it.
So they had to do like one of the things we heard is that they're not just Vikings anymore. It's just people who have been oppressed by dragons, which is fine from all over the world. But they had to do that. Do you know why they had to do that?
Are you talking about because of the new, I was about to say procedures, but like because you have to have a certain amount of
if they want to get nominated for best song, best picture, best animation, whatever it is, best effects, best sound design, they have to have a certain amount of affirmative action in their movies.
Well, and again, that is
And it's
that is going to
why
tank.
the Oscars don't matter
we've already
anymore.
seen it. Well, the Oscars have honestly never mattered, like because it's always been a pony, one of those pony shows of, look at what we did. But anyway, I get that. But like just focusing on this movie, I still kind of want to see it just because I heard that it did not take too many liberties with the source material.
And it was the same director and writer as the cartoon, and he
Well,
actually added
that doesn't always
to characters. So
John Woo did replace the killer, the original killer.
I know, but
so
I'm saying he this is the guy who came up with the idea for it too. So John Woo also hasn't done anything good.
But so
since
since
the Replacement Killers.
To be fair, like again, this is not just with the How to Train Your Dragon. Just because someone did something great in the past, I'm not gonna. That gives me a little bit more. As long as the person doesn't go Stephen King, that gives me a little more hope. But just by hearing somebody else talk about it makes me think, okay, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. I don't know if I'll get to the theaters to see it, but I will. I do want to see it. Yeah. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Me too. I'll watch it.
I like how we use the last 5 minutes and just completely just left 28 years later. In the past.
I mean, we already did the rating. It was mid AF, as you so succinctly put it in your text message.
Yeah, it's the pointing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or as Immortan Joe says, mediocre.
I watched 28 Days Later. Before going to see this, and I wanted to watch 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later, but I did not enjoy 28 Days Later as much as I used to.
I have not seen it in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think I've seen it since it was out. I mean, I've owned it for years. I didn't have to go looking for it, but it's just one of those, just one of those things. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we actually went for an hour. I thought this was gonna be 40 minutes tops. So, thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week with more Murderbot, something else. If you get a chance, please go check out the Instagram post for this on the Infamous Podcast Instagram page. I'm very proud of the graphic that I made this week. So anyway, anything you want to add?
No.
Awesome.
Not right now.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Have a great one. Later.
See ya.
The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Darryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/infamouspodcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.